never knew starting a business could feel so lonely until I actually did it. Hi, I'm Fatma, and this channel is where I'm quietly building Brew Better, a specialty coffee accessories brand, and this is where I'm documenting that journey. If you know me or anything about me, you know I'm really into specialty coffee, and that's why I've started Brew Better. But more on that later. First, a little bit of background. No one really talks about the quiet parts of starting a business, the uncertainty, the self-doubt, and the moments where you genuinely don't know if any of the things you're doing are going to work. I'm also learning to adapt to that discomfort and panic every time something doesn't work out immediately. There are days with no orders at all, and that can really mess with your head, more than I expected. You start questioning everything, the products, the branding, even yourself. I think one of the biggest lessons so far is realizing that this is a long game. So, I've always been into specialty coffee, not just drinking it, the whole process, the ritual, the tools, the care that goes into making a very good cup, whether that's at home or having a nice cup of coffee at a cafe. And for a long time, I had this quiet feeling that I wanted to start something of my own. So that's where I got the idea of starting Brew Better. I didn't necessarily want to jump into a full-time business, but I did want to do something, building something, learning along the way, and seeing what it actually takes behind the scenes. Brew Better started to feel like that bridge for me, combining something I genuinely had an interest in and sharing it with the world. The idea clicked for me when I was at a cafe abroad, and everything felt so nicely curated. And that's where I thought, what if there was a place online where everything with really good tools were curated together for you? And I remember thinking, why does buying coffee accessories online feel so complicated? There are so many options, so much jargon, and honestly, so many things people don't really need. And that's how Brew Better was born. Once I had the idea, everything moved faster than I expected. I initially just wanted to get some items for my home use, but when I contacted the supplier, reaching out and asking questions, and before I knew it, I was faced with placing my first shipment. I'd never done anything like that before, and I remember feeling genuinely scared. I had no idea if everything would arrive on time or if something would go wrong along the way. I don't have a warehouse, so when they asked me for a delivery address, I just put down my home address. That part really made me nervous. I'd read online that if you give your own residential address, you get spammed for life, and I didn't know what was going to show up, like whether it was going to be an actual delivery van with my stuff or just, I don't know, like random stuff in a huge lorry or something. Thankfully, it was completely fine. I found a logistics partner to bring everything over to London and chose delivery duty paid because I don't want to worry about customs or surprise tax bills. I just wanted the process to be as straightforward as possible. When the shipment actually arrived, me and my husband carried all the cartons from our front garden all the way into the house. And we actually just sort of like, this is the main entrance to the house. And we sort of like, we're taking one carton at a time towards our dining area and like stacking one on top of each other. Suddenly our house was full of cartons. And if you live in the UK, you know houses here are tiny. So yeah, it was us and the cartons. And around the same time, for some insane reason, we decided to try Airbnb-ing our place out, and we actually got a booking. And the booking was in less than 4 days. We were also traveling, so there was a lot going on. There was, getting the cartons in, putting them somewhere, cleaning the house, and packing for our own trip. So yeah, it was exciting to say the least. It was one of those moments where it all felt very real, maybe too real. There was no going back now. But before the stock even arrived, I started building the website. I chose the name, bought the domain, and I just ended up going with Shopify because I feel like that's the easiest when you're getting started with e-commerce. I built the website myself, designed a very preliminary logo, which was actually sort of hard for me because I am a perfectionist, I think, self-proclaimed maybe. But yeah, I really had to sort of just let go of things not being perfect, the theme not being perfect of the website, the logo, the colors, everything, because it was more important that it existed rather than it being perfect. Once the website was live, I uploaded some photos that I'd gotten from the suppliers just to sort of build some awareness or like that in anticipation of products coming. But yeah, that's the tricky part. When you're a new website and Google doesn't rank you, your SEO is zero and you have no traffic, there is no awareness or people who'll be like, who are anticipating the new launch of your website, which I don't know, that's the truth for me. I see so many videos of different founders who've started like their small business and they talk about how launch day was so exciting and they had to show videos of printing so many labels and have so many orders, and that just wasn't the case for me. And that's the truth, and that's the sad part. It's hard not to compare yourself with all of these other people who've started something and it feels like it's going so well, and for you it just doesn't seem to work. But I think that's the truth of it. That's the other side of starting a business. It's tough, it's hard, it's slow at times, but you just have to keep going. You just have to keep doing it. It can feel really discouraging because you've put in so much effort and time and energy into it. But yeah, I guess, you just have to keep on going. You just have to keep walking that road. The website officially launched on November 10th last year, 2025. That's when I had all the stock. We'd come back from our little trip. And yeah, we officially launched then. And for the first few days, there was no order. I don't know when I was expecting to get my first order, probably like weeks later. I remember so clearly, we were actually sitting on the same sofa watching TV at night, and my phone buzzed, and it was that ching sound that you get from the Shopify app when you've made a sale. And I literally just jumped right here saying to my husband, "Oh my god, we got an order!" So yeah, that was definitely a very exciting little moment for us. That sound has genuinely become one of our favorites. It's like a dopamine hit as soon as we hear it. And there are days when I don't hear it at all, and that's fine. It's okay. I feel down about it, but it's alright. We gotta keep going. But yeah, it's amazing when it does happen, when my phone buzzes and there's that sound and I'm just doing a little dance, like, oh my god, someone placed an order. But yeah, back to the first order. It felt amazing knowing someone who had placed their trust in Brew Better, this new brand that has been live for like 5 days, and it was an amazing feeling. And you know what the funniest part is? We didn't even have any packaging boxes at the time because I don't know when we were expecting we were gonna get our first order. So we just ordered some from Amazon right away, and then that took a day to come, and then we packaged the order, and we didn't have a label printer, so we printed it off an A4 paper and just taped it. It was very bootstrapped and homemade vibes, but I guess that's a small business. I don't know. I mean, we could have prepared better for that, but honestly, it was also just not knowing what to expect, the first time you launch something. But ever since, we've got a label printer, we've got some proper boxes, some little stickers that we put on each box, so we're in a better state now. To get some traffic, I followed a YouTube video to get started on Google Ads. The first ever campaign I set up, watching that video step by step, and honestly, it was a complete fail. We lost about 100 pounds, and yeah, that really hurt. Because, at the beginning, every single pound you lose actually hurts. And honestly, even 3 months in today, it still hurts. I wish we hadn't lost that, but you learn from your mistakes, and I think that's an important part and an important lesson of this journey. One thing I found surprisingly hard is not to compare myself with other brands. You see accounts on Instagram with thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of followers, and sometimes accounts that don't even have a single post, and it's so hard for you to compare, and it just feels like everyone is miles ahead. When I first made the Brew Better account, it had 0 followers, then slowly it grew to 20, then 60. And even now, 3 months in, we're at 600. And at the same time, I see brands or companies that have opened a couple of months ago and they've got 8,000, 10,000 followers. That still baffles me, honestly. But I keep reminding myself that you never really know where someone is in their journey. Most of the brands we admire probably started years ago. They likely also started with 1 or 2 people, and they probably felt lost, just like me, just like you might. The important thing is remembering what part of the journey you're in. Because for me, right now, it's about showing up every day. Firstly for myself, and then for Brew Better. I'm not trying to rush the process, not trying to skip the steps. That's actually why I started this YouTube series, where I'm planning to put down videos of just the day-to-day, getting an order, how excited a small business is, even with 1 single order, and how we pack it with so much care and thought, and we put our little stickers and the labels we print and everything. I actually wanted to start documenting this before I even launched the website, but I don't know, I guess I was a bit unsure. I was a bit scared. What if I don't get even a single order? What if Brew Better is a failure before I've even started? And I'm sure a lot of other people feel the same way. And it can get discouraging, and you don't have the motivation a lot of the times. I just wanted to record this video to share the other side of starting a business. It's not always as polished as we think, and it's not always as fun and exciting, and as you don't always feel like a success the first day you've started. Maybe other YouTube videos might have you believe. I think we often only see the polished side of starting a brand. We see the aesthetics, the launches, the success stories, but not the uncertainty, the fear, and the messy middle. So I want to document Brew Better as I build it and share what's working, what isn't, and everything in between. If you're building something too, or just thinking about it, you're not alone. And if you want to follow along this journey, I'd love to have you here. And I'll see you in the next one.